Preparing for your driving test. So I just want to talk about this for a minute, and I think the focus really is on like learning test routes or basically learning how to drive. Yeah, so I've got a few things to say about this because there's this kind of like, you can online, there's angry people saying, why do people teach test routes? You should teach people how to drive, and then they can then they can drive anywhere. And look, I do agree with this, yeah, like it's really important. My strong advice is to understand the road markings and the signs and be really aware of your surroundings, because if you know those things, then you can drive anywhere, right? But it is also important to understand the area that you're taking your test in, because I think that sometimes there's some seriously difficult junctions in the area that you're going to drive in, like double mini roundabouts, spiral roundabouts in the area. Me and my student drove to London once and we saw a triple roundabout, which was exceptionally interesting. I'd never seen one before. So instead of it being a double mini roundabout, it was like a triple roundabout. I was leaping out of my skin with excitement, and my student was like, what's this? And I was like, oh my goodness, it's a triple roundabout. It's like a bunch of grapes. I was so excited, but he didn't know what he was doing. He had his license because we were doing a pass plus, and but I had to like coach him through to like, okay, you go to the next line now, and we had to sort of do that together. But technically speaking, if you know the lines on the floor, then you can work that out. Yeah, it's like the Swindon magic roundabout. Everybody's like, oh no, there's 5 or 6 mini roundabouts in one roundabout. Yeah, but you know, the giveaway lines are still there. The road arrows are still there. You know if you're turning right or left. So if you take them individually, then it's a lot easier. So no road markings, no road signs. Look at them, find them, and then yes, you can drive anywhere. But I think it is useful if the student knows the complicated areas of the area that they're in. I know that there's, I'm going to move soon, but I know that there's a very complicated roundabout where I'm moving to, and I need to make sure that my students know that, because everybody talks about it. I don't think I'd feel like a very, I mean, over the years I've had students say, oh, you know, we didn't go there on our driving lessons, or I've heard people say that they've left their driving instructor and they've said, I failed on this junction and my driving instructor never took me there. I hear it quite a lot where, I mean, I had somebody write to me recently and say, I never went to this car park to do the Bay Park. And to be honest with you, we're locked out of some of the car parks. We're actually forbidden to go in because the car parks have put their foot down and they're like, instructors are not allowed to be there. So only examiners are, yeah. So we're not allowed certain places. Also, you know, if somebody books their test and you've got 2 weeks, you know, and the pressure that the driving instructor is now under, and you think, right, okay, we've got 2 weeks now when we should have maybe have had like 3 months. Okay, what do I need to do to keep this person as safe as possible in the 2 weeks that we've got, instead of like 3 months that I would have preferred for this student to be safe? And then if that student was to fail, they can be like, oh, I didn't know like where I was going, or I'd never been on that road before. And you're like, well, yeah, probably need to practice a little bit more, like, you know. So driving around as much as possible, being on the road as much as possible. Private practice is so vitally important because you're going to have experience, you're going to see things, you're going to interact with things that are new every single day. Like I always say to my students, like, you know, I've driven down these roads a million times, but I've never driven down this road with these people here at this moment, with that dog walker there, with this parked car here. Yes, I've been on this road thousands of times, but I've never seen this car. I've never seen that dog with that person at that time. You know, I've never had this road condition with the weather. with the dog walker who's now running across the road with their umbrella and they've dropped the umbrella. I've never had that before. So even if you're on the road like a million times on a specific road, it may be very different to the time before because someone's parked illegally or they've broken down. So it's really important to like have as much practice as physically possible all the time. You know, if you can, you know, get in the car with your accompanying driver, like your parent or your friend, and go somewhere. You know, I know you're not allowed on the motorway, but drive far away and have experiences in other places. Your driving instructor can't do that. I suppose they could if you hired them for the day and you could go somewhere together, but it's highly unusual, you know, like, you know, your driving instructor is going to be in the town that they're in, you know, so they're going to be like wanting you to pass and they're going to be showing you the test routes here. But if you've got the luxury of like going out with your parents, go somewhere far away, go to a little village that's nearby, go to another town, go and see those road markings, zoom in on it on Google Earth and be like, what the hell was that? You know, like where did I need to be positioned? Or look at the sign, look at the road markings. You can make driving a lot easier if you understand what the road markings are, what the signs are. Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, that is the main thing. It's very important. Do you know what? I think that's why we've all been forced to do a theory, yeah, because your driving instructor's not a superhero. They've got lots of people on their diary, and if the student, if you meet a student and you've never met them before and they're like, my test is in 3 months, I mean, we're only human, yeah? Like, I mean, that's a lot of subjects to cover for your life, you know? And then sometimes you hear people go, well, I went for my test and I didn't know what that roundabout was. And it's all your fault. You'd never shown me that double mini roundabout in the 2 days that we had to practice for my test. Right? You know, like you do need to like learn. So the theory is good. I'm like all up for the theory because you need to know about the road markings. You need to know about this, that and the other before you actually go and sit your exam. Yeah. So the way that I consider this and the way that I think that it's very important is the student really needs to know the theory of road marking signs and how to be aware, you know. Awareness is so important. Choosing the right speed for the conditions. When you're coming up to something incredibly complicated, you need to go slower so you can take in the signs and you know where to position and you understand that that is a give way line and you understand that this is a double mini roundabout or a spiral roundabout or whatever. But if you've got the luxury of being able to go far away with your parents or your loved ones and you can experience new things, then go and do it. Yeah, learning the test routes around your area is yes, you're probably going to be more likely to pass because you've seen this double mini roundabout, you've seen this spiral roundabout. And there's an energy, there's a really bitter energy from some people who just go, I never teach test routes, ever, because you should be able to drive anyway. And I do understand that, of course, yeah. And there's logic in that. But if your driving instructor knows that there's a triple mini roundabout or a spiral roundabout, is it fair that they just go, you should just know how to do it? So I'm not going to take you there, even though I know it's on your driving test. So you should know. You know, it's like, yeah, there's a method in everything, but there's difficult junctions in every single town. So when I move, I need to have a look at, I was going to meet a driving instructor actually, where I'm moving to and get him to show me like the test routes because I wanted to be like, okay, well, what's the difficult junctions in this town, you know, that people like often fail for? Where's the high fail rates here, you know? Because in Cheltenham, you know, people fail on the Southam Hill starts, people fail on the McDonald's roundabout, people fail on opposite the Langton on the bump, yeah, front wheels up. If you know this test route, you know, you go up a hill and then you've got a speed bump on the top of the hill. Obviously people are going to fail there, you know, because when do you ever get a speed bump on top of a hill on a T-junction? I mean, really? You know, that's quite unique, isn't it? I can't really, there's not a lot of that going on, is there? You know what I mean? So yeah, teaching test routes and understanding all the lines and stuff, I think there's a balance. I think you need to do both. Because you often hear like people just going, oh, you know, my instructor didn't show me that car park, or my instructor didn't show me that double mini roundabout, or my instructor, you know, we often drove down this road, but on my test we were driving the other way. And I think it's unfair that, you know, well, how much do you want to spend on it? You know, how many hours do you want? I drive with your parents as much as possible, understand the theory, understand the lines, ask as many questions as physically possible to your driving instructor. I met somebody yesterday and I was like, look, we're trying to get rid of each other all the time in the most kind and pleasant way. I'm trying to get you to be independent. You want the information from me. Ask me a zillion questions and then you can release me because you understand and you don't need me. If I say something to you and it slightly goes over your head, get in there. Analyse it, ask me questions and be like, okay, I got it, thanks, yeah, I don't need that anymore. Because if you go, I don't really understand what Ros said, but we'll just carry on, so I don't look stupid, which you'd never do, by the way, ever, but ask loads of questions and then just go, okay, got that, okay, that's one step closer to being independent, all right? Anyway, what are your thoughts about it? Yeah, what's your thoughts about it?